Some tragedies in Emmerdale don't start with a punch. They start with a father walking through his own front door after months missing, and in that exact second, everything explodes. Paddy Kirk is trying to keep going when Bear, his dad, suddenly returns after being gone for months. But Bear doesn't come back like a normal man. He's just escaped a place where he was held in brutal conditions, kept by Celia Daniels and her son Ray Walters like a kind of modern-day slave. And instead of coming home to a quiet reunion, the moment Bear steps inside, he sees Ray threatening Paddy and Dylan. And this is the part that hurts and confuses me at the same time. In a panicked, traumatized state, Bear reacts on pure instinct to protect his son, and he kills Ray. Not in some cold, calculated way, but as an explosive act in the middle of chaos. But no matter the motive, consequences are still consequences. After that, Bear seems even more shattered because he can't carry the guilt on top of everything he already endured while being held captive. And worse, the story doesn't end there. Paddy and Dylan know they've been pulled into a vortex. They hide Ray's body in a depot van, planning to move it and bury it later. But life doesn't give them a second to breathe. Jai drives off in that very van, and the body is discovered soon after. From here, Paddy falls into a very human kind of desperation. Not because he doesn't care, but because he's terrified. He knows he and Dylan are implicated in the cover-up, and more importantly, Bear is far too fragile to survive prison after what happened. So Paddy tries to keep the lid on everything at all costs. He even coaches his dad on what to say to the police. But Bear isn't in any state to keep a story straight. He's scared, confused, and drowning in guilt. Under D.S. Walsh's questioning, Bear starts to crumble and admits he killed Ray. He insists he acted alone, but D.S. Walsh doesn't fully buy it. The next day, when Bear is questioned again, Paddy keeps interrupting to strengthen Bear's version of events. And honestly, that kind of behavior only makes you look guiltier. D.S. Walsh begins to suspect Paddy was involved in Ray's death. She's especially incredulous that Bear could have moved Ray's body by himself. And Paddy truly starts to panic, because this is shifting from a tragic accident into a case with possible accomplices. Then what Paddy feared arrives. Another officer shows up at the house and takes Paddy and Dylan in for questioning about Ray's death. Reading this part, I felt like this is where the tragedy really is. Not in who's more evil, but in how people start crossing moral lines to protect the ones they love. Paddy is fighting for his own freedom while trying to save his dad. But the more he tries to control the narrative, the more the police can smell something off. While Paddy battles to stay out of trouble, Bear is charged with manslaughter. Bear's solicitor reassures Paddy that the court will consider what Bear has been through and that he acted in self-defense. Paddy clings to the hope that Bear might get bail and avoid the horror of custody, because for someone that traumatized, being locked up again could break him completely. But then Bear chooses what he sees as the honorable path. He pleads guilty. And with that decision, prison feels like it's opening right in front of him. And Paddy? If he can't convince the police he had nothing to do with Ray's death, he might be heading there too. To me, the scariest part of this arc is this. One instinctive moment to protect your child can drag an entire family under, especially when the people left behind try to fix the aftermath by covering it up. The more you hide, the more you turn yourself into a suspect. So let me ask you directly, do you think Paddy is doing the right thing, or is he digging the hole deeper? And Dylan, do you think he'll be the weakest link in questioning? If you enjoy Emmerdale breakdowns like this, hit subscribe for me. Drop a comment and tell me whose side you're on, Bear, Paddy, or D.S. Walsh. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video.